On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, we're going to dedicate it to the fans. That's right, we're going full-on Star Wars Artist Appreciation Show. And why are we doing that? Well, that's because we took a break last week because we are lazy-ass patriots. So we're going to do the top 5 from last week. I'm going to throw in some honorable mentions, and we're going to do a little special topic deal on some Star Wars bootlegs headed to SDCC 2019. Cue that music. Hey now, thanks announcer. That's right, Matt and Nick are back, and yes, we did take a little break for the July 4th holiday. It was needed. I mean, sometimes I get a little nuts with things. I get a little too intense, so I need to kind of pull myself away from the cast. And by the way, there's no reason to bitch, people. We still had a new episode for you last week, and we're still going to get this episode probably out tomorrow, so don't worry. You have not missed out on a single episode of Star Wars Time Show. We keep the train running, even during breaks. So, as you heard from our announcer here, this show's really to focus on the Star Wars artist community, in particular, toy photography and Star Wars, I would like to say, radical artists. Some of my favorite artists I've followed for years on IG, first with EB and now on SWT. So, anyways, Nick, you did your job. You laid down the top 5. We'll be getting to that after our little special topic, which is dealing with bootlegs that you can find at SDCC. And though I'm not talking about the shitty ones from China that you've probably got duped into buying from eBay, Nick, we're talking about DKE Toys. This is the outfit that will be selling these bootlegs at SDCC. And I kind of threw up a preview of some of their Star Wars bootlegs, and I didn't throw all of them up. I threw up a lot of them, at least the ones that I was like, hey, if I had unlimited amounts of money and I wanted to spend $40 on a bootleg figure, I'd probably get this. So we were talking offline, Nick. You weren't really in the know on what the hell a bootleg was.
No.
You were thinking it was like some bullshit that, again, some kid in a Chinese sweatshop stapled together and threw it up on eBay. But as you kind of scrolled through it and looked, I mean, there's some legit art, if not funky-looking art, and ghetto-looking art, but in the best use of the word ghetto.
I know. A lot of this stuff is really creative. It's really fun, and it's nothing that you would ever see out of like the traditional toy world, like from Hasbro or from any of the other big names out there that make toys for Star Wars or anybody else. So it's like it's allowing these artists and these creators to take their time, their molds, and their creativity in their head and create something that's Star Wars like. So obviously you can't say, oh, look at my Star Wars figures. So you have to say stuff like, look at my Start Wars figures, or look at my Space Wars figures.
User of the Force figure.
Yeah. I mean, so a lot of these are just super fun.
Space Wars and Dragons.
Space Wars, Game of Wars.
Yeah.
Lord, what was that? Game of Wars, Lord of Winterstar.
Sturwas.
Yeah, no vowels there at all.
Sturwas, starring Luker, with a limited edition marked on.
I mean, so what's really fun about this is it's Star Wars enough. So anything that you see in these bootlegs, you'll be able to tell, like, okay, these artists are really having fun with the Star Wars license, and they're really creative. That's something that I really enjoy about it. So one of them is it's like a Vader-like figure, and he's wearing like a hot pink robe, and the box art, Matt, you pointed this out to me before we went live, but the box art here is half of the artistry that you see. Like most of this stuff you don't want to open because the box art's so cool.
Yeah, this isn't like Hasbro printing these things. I mean, a lot of these are made in the bootleggers' homes or workshops. So, I mean, they'll not only mold the figures, but they'll also draw the art for the boxes, and it's some great stuff. I mean, the one Nick's talking about, this is the name they give this Vader is Chanlo Samura.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And I don't even know what the fuck the title is of the figure here, but I mean, you can very clearly tell it's in homage to Darth Vader. Some of these other ones, Nick, that stood out to me. I like the the Start Wars cross.
Yeah, it's just
I love to play on the term Start Wars and the fact that it's a religious symbol.
Yep.
Because I am one that believes that religion is the root cause of most of the worst wars we've had. So it's like a little stormtrooper on the cross, but the cross is very Star Wars-ish looking. I mean, it looks like door panels from the Death Star, and you got, a little trooper on there. I also like this mashup of Tron and Luke, the User of the Force by Punk Pop Toys,
Yep.
where it's literally I'd say a 70s era Kenner Luke, half cut, and the rest is translucent to look like Tron holding the disc over his head.
Yeah, exactly. The info disc or whatever it was called from that. There's a
regurgitated idea.
It's
literally Boba Fett. It's a legit vomit pile, but Han Solo's in it, frozen in carbonite.
I saw that one and I couldn't help myself. I was like, is that really just like vomit? And it is. It's just a vomit Han Solo. It's crazy. I mean, some of the other ones that I enjoyed, you have a Corona primarily.
Oh yeah,
Corona can primarily made to look like R2D2. It's called El Bar 2D2 by Carlos Ramirez.
I'm glad you picked this one, dude, because these are, to me, all these are art to me, but this is like, these kind of stand out. I mean, he's really taken like old ass beer cans,
Yep,
and repurposing them with wood legs, and it looks like a foam head and wooden nodules on it. I don't know. To me, that looks like a work of art.
yeah, it does. Like that isn't.
If you like Star Wars, I mean, other people probably looks like a fucking piece of garbage.
Yeah, I mean, one of the more hilarious ones is Boba Wood.
Oh yeah, from Solace Wars.
Yeah, Solace Wars. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this, and it's literally like a kid put together this little Boba Fett figure out of wood and painted it himself.
It's awesome.
It's
awesome.
It's incredible.
Other good ones here. We got Straight Out of Tatooine,
That's solid,
where it's basically a Boba Fett guy wearing, if you know the Straight Out of Compton, the album cover, he's essentially dressed like, Dre. I think he's dressed as the Easy character.
Easy. Yeah.
Nick said this one earlier, and this one's awesome on multiple levels. It's Game of Wars, so think Game of Thrones font, and the character they're selling is Lord of Winterstar. It's literally Darth Vader dressed as Ned Stark, but if you look closely, if you are a collector, I'm pretty sure this is a repurpose, or at least the legs come from the range troopers that we saw in Solo.
Yep, I noticed that. I looked down, I was like, that's definitely range trooper legs.
Yeah, so a lot of times, Nick, what these people do is they'll end up making their own molds, but some will kit bash shit and mold stuff onto them. I don't know. I really think this is a lot of that range trooper, and then clearly they had to mold the head and the chest piece.
Yeah.
The crossover straps. But yeah, I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And by the way, people, I mean, when you look at these, you may be like, oh yeah, that's probably worth a couple dollars. Most of these are $40 to $80.
Yeah, these are not cheap figures. Like the Game of Wars one that we just talked about, that one's $45, but Boba Wood is $100.
Yeah,
like,
Boba Wood's no joke.
Yeah, he's a little bit, a little expensive. And then
this little Chewbactus.
Yeah,
fucking Chewbacca cacti.
Yeah,
like he's literally a cactus, but Chewbacca. That's a hundy.
That's $100 right there. I mean, so some of the ones where you think, oh, maybe this will cost a little bit less. Nope. Vomit Pile Han Solo is the least so far. He's only $25 if you want one of those. And it looks like another one on the high end is, where was it? Oh man, it was this crossover between Star Trek and Star Wars. It's called Captain Mustard Schnog.
Which it's essentially what's his fucking name? Snaggletooth.
Yeah.
But fat and wearing a very James T. Kirk TV series Star Trek shirt.
Yeah, he'll cost you $85. So he's another one. He's a little pricey.
Captain Mustard Schnog.
So this,
yeah. So, anyways, I mean, we're not gonna sit here and read them all to you, but the post is out on StarWarsTime.net. We'll link to it in the post shell for this episode you're listening to. So if you're listening, you're going, "Hey, fuckheads, this is radio. I can't see shit." We got you covered there. And usually on YouTube, I try to throw in imagery, at least of the toys and art we talk about. So they're out there. If you're going to SDCC, look for the DKE Toys Con Stuff booth. It's going to be booth 2643, and SDCC again is kicking off next weekend, July 17 through 21.
Beautiful.
All right, dude, so let's kind of get into the bread and butter of this quick cast, or we're going to try quick cast. You never know when we get behind the mics what type of diarrhea is going to flow out of these orifices, but the top 5, one of our favorite segments when we do the usual Friday show, which, by the way, people may be transitioning to a Monday show, but you're still going to get your weekly dose of Star Wars time, if not double doses of Star Wars time, because that's how we roll. So go ahead, Nick. Let's get into the top 5.
The top 5 this week kicks off with 2 of my favorite things. One, we have a shot by @Black Series here, Isaiah, one of Matt's really good friends in the toy photography community.
Yeah, he's a Mac daddy.
And it's a trooper shot. And if you follow the Star Wars Time show, you know that I cannot pull myself away from trooper shots. So what we have here is a very incredibly it's almost like a silhouetted, like this. The trooper is completely dark, but his eyes are illuminated.
You're right there, Nick, but this is the Shadow Trooper, so he actually is black.
Okay, so it is the Shadow Trooper.
It's not a Death Trooper. I mean, the Shadow Troopers, those in the know, I mean, there was a Shadow Trooper. They're all black, but they look just like a standard Stormtrooper. Yep. I believe it came from the expanded universe. I know there was a figure of it. Obviously, the guys are shooting it here. But yeah, that's actually all black. But as you said, it's a very low lit shot.
Yeah, and it's the way that it's posed, the way that the eyes really, that's what draws you to this picture, is the way that the eyes are lit. And it's just, the way that Isaiah was able to capture the light beams coming in, the way that he was able to,
That's his atmosphere aerosol.
Yeah,
he's a pro at that shit. I mean, Zay kills at the lighting and the atmosphere work.
Yeah. And both of those things really make this shot pop.
Yeah. I mean, he's wading through some sort of water. I mean, he looks like the Grim Reaper. He looks like a Special Force Stormtrooper that could actually do something.
Yeah, exactly.
That could actually shoot somebody on the first pull.
It's not one of those Stormtroopers who was, shooting at Han, Luke, and Leia in Episode 4 on the Death Star. Like, this guy is going to turn a corner. He's almost like... he's almost like Rambo, almost
exactly.
like
Yeah. I see the shot and I go, this motherfucker is going to screw somebody's day up.
Yeah,
and that's what it looks like. He has this imposing pose. He's kind of lurching, holding his gun, basically getting ready to blast someone's face off, or at least try to, because he is a Stormtrooper.
You never know; he could miss. Those lights in his eyes may throw off.
You're right. I mean, that's instantly where our eyes go. And if you subscribe to the rule of thirds, his head and eyes are pretty much right there at that junction point for a vertical shot. So, I mean, again, Black Series, he's a pro.
Yes.
The guy's a pro. That's why he's got 5-figure followers, deserves it. He's a pimp, and he'll probably be at SDCC because I know he lives out that way. But again, @Black Series, @BLKSRS. You're gonna want to follow him and his homies with the C3P Bros, which is Swit Picks and Work More or Less as well. We didn't pick their shots from this series. You can't win them all, guys. Yeah. Zay definitely was the winner this time.
Can't overload the top 5 with the 3 C3P Bros all the time. We gotta.
Yeah, because usually when they do one of their themed shots where they each shoot the same figure, just in different styles and poses, this, that, and everything, they could make the top 5. Yeah. But we got to spread the love a little bit.
Yeah. So moving on, number 2 in the top 5 belongs to @AJG232 on Instagram. And it's a really fantastic portrait shot here of Mace Windu.
Yeah.
So much so that Mace Windu, this looks like you actually took a picture, or AJG actually took a picture of Sam Jackson. Like this, the way that the shot is set up, and it also looks like there's a bit of Digirama happening here. Is that what I'm thinking, Matt? Looks like the background may actually be a shot.
Oh yeah,
from the movie.
look at you. Yep, it's definitely, I would say, a scene from Rot, probably.
Yep.
When Mace is fighting the soon to be Emperor, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, really, nothing too flashy about this shot here. It's not an action shot. There's not a ton of explosions in the background. Just a really solid portrait. Really captures a menacing look on Mace Windu's face. Excellent job lighting the lightsaber, and just the way that the shot is composed is fantastic, and it really pops. It really catches your eye.
Yeah, I'm kind of scrolling through AJG's feed right now, and this account has really kind of come into my radar when I'm going through and looking for stuff to. I might as well give him a follow. I don't even follow him. I'm a piece of shit. There you go. There you go, AJG. I wasn't following you through Haywood pop-up. I am now. But anyways, what I was saying, Nick, is more and more I'm seeing AJG shots, and I love them. I think it could be because, like you said, kind of in the static pose, more portrait scene type of stuff, which is what I get into because, honestly, posing sucks. I hate it. I probably suck at it or don't have the patience for it. I've just spent the past 2 weekends, hours and hours and hours taking photos, so hopefully we got something good out of that. I'm trying. But every shot of AJG's usually catches my eye, so there's a good chance we'll be seeing a lot more of Aaron's work on at Star Wars Time Show. But really just back to the shot that Nick picked. As he said, it's a great portrait. I love this Mace figure. This is the SH Figure Arts Mace. It's not the Black Series Mace. Mm-hmm. Black Series Mace, it just came out this year, Nick. Looks great. Still a fantastic sculpt for $20. But this one, look at that. I mean, that is a perfect Sam Jackson snarl.
Yeah, it is. It's like a perfect recreation of Sam Jackson's face. Like, you couldn't get any better than that. Like, I would love to see if there was like one of the $150 figures of Mace, if the face could look better than that, because I don't know if it could. They even get like forehead wrinkles in there. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, dude. At this point, I want to fashion a Jules wig to throw on it. I think if he had the Jules wig on right now, he would look even more badass.
That would look incredible. That would be a fun and easy mashup. Just to have a Mace figure and just throw a Jules wig on him.
Didn't we?
We shared.
It wasn't a Mace figure. It's Jason B. Michael.
Yeah.
I believe he kind of combined the Jules wig from somewhere with, I think, Sam Jackson's Captain Marvel figure that just came out.
Yeah,
and kind of created that little mashup. That was cool. I think he's got another one I haven't shared yet. Like I was telling you offline, I need to share more of your people's shots because there's so many great Star Wars photographers and artists out there that my backlog of stuff that has caught my eye that I want to share on Star Wars Time Show has now reached about 80. It's difficult, man. I mean, every day I flip that thing on, we're getting more and more people tagging us, more and more people using the Star Wars Time Show hashtag. So my job's getting easier, but it's also getting more cumbersome just because of all the great stuff coming across our feed now instead of me having to search it out. So
yeah,
keep it up, my friends. Keep tagging, hashtagging, do all that fun stuff, and one day you could maybe get the AJG treatment and get yourself on the top 5. But great work there, Aaron. Looking good. Keep tagging, keep doing all that fun stuff. Keep up the great work.
Absolutely. So next up we have Kingdom of Weird here, and what really captured me about this shot is, one, it's a scene recreation, and 2, it's 3.75 inch figures.
Exactly. See, Nick is slowly becoming a toy expert without even being a collector because of his time on the show.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've learned a ton just from listening to you, Matt, break down the shots that I put in the top 5, seeing the people on our Instagram react and interact with us through DMs and comments and stuff like that. And I'm starting to get an appreciation for the little things like this because, if before, back in the day, I would have looked at this and said, like, okay, this is a cool scene recreation, but seeing that it's 3.75 inch figures, like that makes it even more impressive.
Again, I mean, guys, people listening, if you've never held a 3 3/4 inch figure, they won't even take up your whole hand. I mean, at most they might take up your palm.
Yeah, and that is what's so cool about the shot is
Right,
you look at it and they look life size. They look just like they do in the movies. And the scene recreation here is from episode 5 when C-3PO is being put back together on the Millennium Falcon by R2-D2, and 3PO starts to yell at him for something, and then when R2 goes off and tries to fix the hyperdrive.
It's one of my favorite scenes, and it's vintage C-3PO and R2 because the whole time, literally, R2 literally saved the day for everyone. Laid down the smoke screen so they could get out, tapped into the Bespin computer to figure things out about the hyperdrive, this, that, and the other thing, got everyone onto the ship. And what's the first thing that C-3PO starts doing?
Just bitching.
Busting his goddamn balls.
Bitching at him for...
Bitching, yelling, accusing him of being an idiot and not tapping into strange computers and, just put me back together as R2, scurries away to go turn the hyperdrive back on. But as Nick said, I mean, the shot, the beauty of the shot comes from the fact that these things are tiny, yet they're made to look life-size.
Yeah, and it's just the little details that Kingdom of Weird threw in, like putting a little bit of copper wire at the end of C-3PO's leg, and, the box propping up his foot, and then having the diorama, the Falcon diorama actually setting up the shot perfectly. I mean, I think that this is just
you know what, Nick? I bet that is an actual Millennium Falcon toy that they're sitting in.
Wow. So like the actual,
3 3/4 inch Millennium Falcon. I would not be surprised if Kingdom of Weird here somehow got his camera down into that.
Yeah. So Kingdom, if you're listening to us, let us know, either in comments or DMs, if that's what you really used for this shot. But again, I mean, fantastic work. Really brings these figures to life. I even think he added, I don't know if the C-3PO figure has lighting effects in his eyes, but if it doesn't, then he probably added a little bit of light.
So again, that's just really great, probably Photoshop work there.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm assuming he probably cut eyes out of another C-3PO image and then just kind of shopped them in.
Yeah. I mean,
it's my guess.
Seamless.
If not, then it's even more ridiculous that he's able to create that effect without cutting out C-3PO eyes and just using, various brushes and lighting effects.
Yeah. It's beautiful, beautiful work here by @Kingdom of Weird.
It just, dude, I started collecting the minis. I've given them up, but when I see stuff from him or what's the other one? Nostalgic Box. He's the other ridiculously good 3.75. Force Dad Photography is another one good at that scale. It makes me want to start breaking that shit out, but it's like, dude, the whole reason you just spent the past 2 weekends upwards of 4 to 5 hours a day shooting toys is so you can get through the massive backlog that you've been bitching about to everyone on the Star Wars Time show.
It's true. It's true.
And here's the best part. Once I get going, I still can't just go through figures, dude. I mean, Sunday, I'm like, all right, I'm finally going to shoot Anakin and Obi-Wan from ROTS, SH Figure Arts. And then we'll move on. I'll probably knock out another 8 figures today. 3 hours later, I'd only shot Anakin, Obi, and Count Dooku. Because I'm like, if I turn this way or pose this way or that, I could do that. That scene would look neat. That would be cool. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, I walk away. Yes, I may have some decent shots, but I'm not accomplishing my goal of getting through my box of toys that literally dates back to the summer of 2018. For those in the know, I still have not shot the NECA SDCC 2018 exclusive TMNT figures. That's how backlogged I am. So
the passion,
anyways,
We're
getting there. It's just, it is a sickness. If you go on my Haywood Pop story right now, Nick, you'll see all the shots I've taken. I did a video scroll. I'm like, basically, this is why I'm nuts and why I never get shit out, because I take so many. Then I don't want to process, and then 2 years later, I finally share them, and my skills have enhanced, and the pictures look like shit.
Yeah, see, that's why you have the perception of your work that you do, is because you're sharing stuff that you took 2 years ago now.
Right, dude.
And you look at it, and you're like, I could do way better than that.
But, hey, you know what's funny? Okay, so last week, I didn't share much at all last week because I'm trying to get better at when I'm on vacation with the family, I'm off my goddamn phone. But I put up, I don't know if you saw it, it's a shot of the Ashigaru Stormtrooper, Samurai Trooper, Archer.
Yep, I saw that one.
Probably 2.5 years old. That thing, like, I mean, I think it almost got 400 likes and 40 comments.
Yeah. That's a beautiful shot, dude. Like
that's just called me getting lucky sometimes back then when I was trying practical effects for the first time. But I sat on that for years because I didn't think it was good.
Oh, dude, like this is almost 400 likes. You got tons of comments on here from people that are, top 5 multiple times the Star Wars Time show. You see everything Kylo. I mean, everybody that we talk about is on your comments.
Yeah,
and
I'm a freak, man. It's a very weird headspace that I live in, and it's not just with I've done it with every hobby I've ever had. I mean, these days it's hard for me even to play video games because of the mental shit I get going in my head.
Oh, dude, I'm the same way. I just finished this weekend. I just finished Breath of the Wild, just the base campaign, not the DLC.
Yeah, dude, I'm literally still sitting outside the castle, just needing to fight Ganon, and I just don't want to do it.
Exactly
I don't want to do
what
it.
I did. That's exactly what I did for a year. I left it there for a year or however long it's been.
That's where I'm at. I mean, it's been so long. I gave the damn cartridge to my nephew. I was like, here, you fucking play it.
And I picked it up over the weekend. I was like, okay, well, I still got to get to the last memory. So I get the last memory. I was like, well, if I'm doing this, I might as well get the Hylian shield. I get the Hylian shield. I put it down. The next day I pick it up. I'm like, well, there's nothing else for me to do in this game except beat it. And then I go to beat it, and I found out that if you have all 4 divine beasts, it's the easiest fucking final boss fight you ever fight in your life.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and I'm still too lazy to go. Because is getting through the castle still kind of wonky?
Oh, dude, I know there's a bit of a tangent here for Star Wars fans, but if you're a video game fan here,
get used to it.
I climb waterfalls the whole way. Put on the Zora armor and just swim up waterfalls the whole way. Yeah. You come in slightly. It's basically, if you're looking at the castle, it's from the west, slightly from the west corner. There's a waterfall right there, and if you swim up it, it'll lead you to waterfalls all the way up to the fucking door of the castle. You don't even have to do anything.
Interesting. Well, I guess I got to get my disc or cartridge back now from my nephew if he hasn't lost it yet.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so circling back to Star Wars time and some Star Wars artists and their figures or toy photography. So again, Kingdom Weird, awesome shit.
Yep.
3.75 Mac Daddy for sure. All right, next one, buddy.
Next one, we have a shot from DCR Production. So it's at DCR.production on Instagram. And it's another Stormtrooper shot. Look, I said when we started that I'm a sucker for troopers, and it just holds true. But this is also a fucking amazing shot. I mean, the weathering that's done here on the trooper. So what we see is it almost to me looks like a zombie trooper for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm running with. I mean, he's at least possessed.
Yeah. So we see his eyes are lit very bright white. There's almost like an alien tractor beam type of light coming
it's like
off
a
of
light
his head.
halo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the armor is weathered and messed up looking. It's just the pose that he's in. His head kind of slightly tilted down. He looks like a risen dead kind of stormtrooper.
Exactly.
Like
the caption was, "I'm Stromtrooper." I'm sure it was a misspelling, but I'm Stormtrooper.
Yeah. I mean, this is a fantastic shot. It just it seems simple when you look at it because it's really just kind of a stormtrooper standing there. But the effects, the weathering, the practical and the digital effects done here by DCR Production really just make this shot pop. And what I really like about it too is the blue, the blue haze to it almost has a White Walker type of feel from Game of Thrones. So, yeah, I mean, everything about this really just kind of stood out to me. And it was very high likes on the Star Wars Time feed share as well. So, excellent job here.
Yeah, I mean, what I would like to ask, and this, again, if DCR, if you're listening, this isn't me being a shithead. This is just a fellow artist that this has happened to me as well. But, Nick, if you look at the top of his helmet, you see that string?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or that little piece of hair?
Yep.
I wonder if he knew that was there and left it, or if he just forgot to wipe it out.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, "Oh, okay." I want because in my head, the way that I thought about it is that was something stuck to his helmet when he got up.
Okay,
he was laying down, like a fucking dead zombie, and then whoever comes by, the Night King comes by, raises him back from the dead, and he stands up and his weather, like his armor is all weathered and full of dirt, and then he's got this thing.
Oh
hanging
yeah,
off
no,
his head.
I'm getting that too. But this has happened to me on so many times where I get a shot right, I'm ready to share it, and then I look one more time like, fuck, there's a cat hair sticking out of his ass or coming right out of his neck, and some people may not see it, but typically when you see something like that, like now I can't stop looking at that hair.
Yeah. It would be, if you're listening, DCR, let us know either.
Yeah, again, this is not a critique at all. It's just it's an honest question of, is it meant to be there, or is this one of those deals where you're so excited to get the shot out, you forgot to wipe a little piece of dust.
Yeah.
But either way, the shot's fucking badass. I mean, 100%. DCR is on our radar now, so there's a good chance we'll be seeing more of his work, or at least be published on @StarWarsTime Show on Instagram.
Yeah. So the final of the top 5, but don't worry, there's a few honorable mentions here.
Oh yeah. When we do just these little shows talking about the community and the Star Wars artists, we're always good for some Matt honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I got 3 of them coming up, but we got one more to go here.
Rounding out the top
another new one, I think.
Yeah,
Nick. You got a couple, at least. What, 2 brand new accounts this week?
2 new accounts, yeah. So AJG is a relatively new account, and then also at least a new account for us on the Star Wars Time Show.
Right.
And then also this Taylor C Photo @TaylorC Photo on Instagram. This is a fresh IG account, 83 followers, 37 posts. But this guy has really, if you look at his feed leading up to his shots, he's kind of a, he's taken a lot of pictures of a lot of different things. He's trying to put his photography out there, and it was never really focused on Star Wars. But then, he comes around to his first Star Wars photograph, and it's a fantastic.
Hey, what? Dude's got some fucking amazing portraits, black and white work.
Oh yeah, I mean, just fantastic. Not Star Wars related at all. If you just go to Taylor C Photos Instagram page, just his photography work, his living photography work is fantastic.
Yeah, it looks like he almost took time. I guess his first toy stuff started coming in December of 2018.
Yeah, I mean, he actually had one Star Wars picture before this, and it was December 2018. But then he dropped a scavenger ray.
Yeah, so that's the one we're talking about.
Yeah,
here.
from TFA. Right in our top 5 window for last week, and it really just sings the way that he was able to compose this shot, the way that he was able to capture wonderful, I don't know if this is actual daytime lighting that he has in the background or if this is something that was added, but just the way that this shot is posed, the way that her speeder is looks like it's actually sitting there floating off of the ground, and then it's just a fantastic shot that really captures a moment from TFA almost perfectly in toy form. And it was really just a very, you look at it and it's a pretty standard image and you're like, oh yeah, but the way that it's composed, the way that it's set up just really grabbed me. And I was like, holy shit, this is a pretty powerful shot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. I mean, this is one I would love to hang up. I mean, if I had any wall space left in SWTHQ, I want to start hanging up a lot of the art we talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And look,
and this is one of those where it's just it's a very serene looking, peaceful, almost calming image.
Yeah, and that's kind of what drew me to it is just that serenity of the shot, the calmness, and then obviously, if you think about Rey's journey now to where we're gonna see her in The Rise of Skywalker, and you look at this as a piece from her past, she's come a long way, and
yeah, I think she's had a little bit of growth since these days scavenging for shit for Unkar, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, and I just think that the setting for this, finding a nice piece of a nice piece of land with sand on it, Taylor did here, having this set up, doing an excellent job with the speeder, and then also with Rey. It really does capture the essence of who Rey was in TFA. And what I would really like to see Taylor do is some sort of, TROS setup picture where you can have the comparison between TFA and where she is in TROS, So if you're
Look
listening,
at this
maybe
guy.
that's
This guy's now making requests.
I'm just saying, maybe that's something that could be done out.
His toy photography dick is getting big. He's like, hey, listen up, people.
It could be a fun little.
He's
project.
commissioning work. I love it.
I know,
love it.
So fantastic.
Hey, you never know, man. Taylor, he's someone that just organically started tagging us.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
I told you before we went live, I was like, it's now getting to a point where every morning I now have to look at our hashtag.
Yeah.
Because people are just starting to catch on and use it, as well as people just tagging us. And Taylor, like I say, I always kind of put my own comment and then I include the artist comment. But like I said, love finding some awesome shots from new accounts that use our hashtag.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was what Taylor C. Photo did. So look where it got you, buddy.
Yeah, top 5.
Look where it got you. Now you are want to be famous.
Slowly crawling up there to the wannabe famous one. But and look, we've talked about it before. Unfortunately, Instagram shares don't really feed back into the original account. But I'm really happy that we could post this shot from Taylor C., who has a small following right now. Get him a good amount of likes, 116 likes on this shot. Some good comments from our fan base, and I really hope that the people who saw this on Star Wars Time Show Instagram went and followed on Taylor C. Photos page.
I'm glad you brought that. That is a good PSA. So, I mean, we do feature other accounts. We do put up our own stuff. I do ask when we do feature accounts, try to read the caption to find the artist, because we've had some people resharing our stuff as it's our work. And someone that puts out toy photography himself, I always make sure to let them know, like, hey, we appreciate it, but it was this person, not us. And if you are leaving comments on a feature of an artist, make sure to tag them so they know you're talking to them and not just us.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why we do the top 5. This is why we focus on this community so much, because there's so much talent here. Like we see with Taylor, a very small account, very new to Star Wars toy photography, and we want to try to increase the amount of love that's going to these people. So make sure that, not only are you liking the shots that are on our feed, but you're also following the artists that are making those shots.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, we wanted to bring this up anyway, so I'll just get into it. Jared, Sir Dork, if you're in the game, you know who I'm talking about. He kind of went viral, I believe, towards the end of 18. He's got a hell of a following right now. He's really big into action shots, fireworks, shit like that. But he dropped a video last week kind of showing how he uses just rinky-dink grocery store fireworks to try to create something. But he was sporting our hat the entire time, and then he actually did a great little shout-out mention at the end of the video. And what he said he enjoyed about us and the show and Star Wars Time in general is that there's not many podcasts out there that talk about toy photography, in particular Star Wars toy photography. And he mentioned how he appreciates the fact that, not only does he like listening to our commentary, which, we're not paying him. He may be on drugs. You never know. I don't know who likes listening to us. I know we don't like listening to ourselves, but hey, thanks for those that do listen. But he's saying outside just the content and the show, he likes the fact that, he can find new Star Wars toy photographers through us. So we are trying to help the community find other accounts, like accounts that Instagram may be hiding from you. I just realized this week, and, Nick wrote the big algorithm post, but I have not seen some of my most favorite artists in weeks because of Instagram. Because I haven't, either missing their shots and not able to like them. Because isn't it, Nick, to where if you like a certain account a lot, that Instagram will kind of clue into that and start showing you more of that account?
Yep. So the more interaction you have with a certain page or a certain business account, the more you'll see their content.
Right. I mean, even people like SWTS or Work More or Less, I don't see their shit.
Yep.
I have to go seek it out. Or Star Wars The Black Series, who's probably the biggest feature account for Star Wars Black Series toy photographers. I mean, the dude's got 107,000 followers or some shit. I mean, he's got some serious weight in the toy photography community. But I don't know, fuck Instagram. But hey, we're here to kind of help you maybe discover new people or see awesome shots from people you follow that you just can't see anymore, because IG thinks that an organic, time-sensitive feed is a thing of the past.
Yeah, that's their thoughts for sure.
Yeah,
but
go fuck yourself, make a business profile, pay us.
Yeah. But that rounds out the top 5. But Matt, you picked 3 of your favorites that didn't make the top 5.
That's right.
So why don't you kick us off with number 1 of the honorable mentions?
All right. So again, I don't even like using the term honorable mention
because these are
it
fantastic
implies
shots.
that like you people I'm about to talk about aren't as good as those we just talked about. That's not the case at all. We throw out the term honorable mention because if Nick and I, if it was up to us, we essentially would have 2-hour shows just talking about Star Wars toy photography.
Yeah.
We've had to limit it to 5, so we don't just go on and on and on and on. I mean, this is literally an episode where we just had to talk about toy photography, and we're already going on 40 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to kind of limit ourselves, put a governor on how many we share, because otherwise it could get nuts. I mean, it literally would just be toy photography, and I know a lot of you out there would probably like our show more if it was just toy photography. But damn it, Nick and I love speculating, talking about Star Wars news and movies and projects too, so you get what you get. You get the split, but today, hey, you're pretty much getting all toy photography. So, honorable mentions, here we go. First and foremost is my man Jay at Work More or Less. And this comes from, again, you know, when Nick was talking about Black Series, he's part of the conglomerate that is known as the C3P Bros JSI. And this was from their Master Yoda theme week, which is a few weeks ago. But it's essentially a recreation of Yoda discovering Luke's light stick on Dagobah and fighting R2 for it.
Yep.
And it's fucking perfect. I mean, the tone of the image is perfect. The coloring's perfect. The atmosphere is perfect. It's a work more or less shot. I mean, Jason is a professional designer. He gets paid to create awesome looking stuff, but he gives us this shit for free in his spare time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. And like you said, scene recreation from episode 5. And I'm just like, I'm looking at the shot and I'm just waiting for Yoda to start smacking R2.
Yeah, hit him like, no, give me. Yeah, I mean, it's one of my like, that is my favorite Yoda, is that 3-minute scene or whatever when he is full on Hobo Yoda.
Yeah.
And if you place with Go, you know who Hobo Yoda is. Hobo Yoda is Dagobah Yoda.
I'm working towards. I'm like one set away from unlocking Hermit Yoda.
Oh,
I'm like
he's the Mac that he is a raid champion.
Yeah. So
Hobo Yoda. But anyways, Hobo Yoda. That's who at Work more or less captured here, and it is. It's just It's a freeze frame of that exchange between R2 and Yoda fighting over Luke's flashlight. And it's still one of my favorite parts of Empire, one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, because Yoda really is acting like a crazy hobo. I mean, obviously he's testing Luke, but he's acting like a nut job, or a Yoda, or whatever the hell they're called, that sat on a swamp planet for, 20 years at this point by himself?
20 years. I mean, we have no
communing
canon
with maybe Qui-Gon's Force Ghost here and there, but that's about it.
Yeah, we don't have any canon that shows Yoda leaving Dagobah once he got there after episode 3.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he took his little pod from the Wookiees, and that was about it.
Yeah, just landed in a mud hole, and then that was it. All right, what's your next one, Matt?
Next one, we're going to move into some pure art. And all of these are art, but I'm talking the drawing kind, the shit that still, in my opinion, it's like, how do humans do this? How does someone sit down at an iPad or a piece of paper or another screen and do this? And this, what is this I'm talking about? Well, I'm talking about a fantastic shot from Venomous, Venamis. His name is Eli Haider, I believe.
Yep.
And I do believe he is a professional artist. Yeah, published art by Marvel, Lucasfilm, and Topps. So, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's definitely good. That's an understatement.
But he has Nick, wouldn't you say he's got a very iconic style where it's like he does really like kind of these sharp slash lines, it almost looks like.
Yeah.
And then his coloring is watercolory, but sometimes with a neon tint. It's just I don't. It sometimes it looks like concept art that is then colored.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it definitely has like a concept art / storyboard feel to the construction of some of the the environments and of some of the figures, but then the way that he brings it to life with the coloring is really what makes it pop.
It's insane. I mean, this is another account, and we haven't even talked about the fucking image and why he's up there. But if you just look at his page,
oh yeah, I mean
it's nonstop scrolling, and you're just going, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. Oh yeah, but like that one. Yep, like that. Yeah,
that, I mean, like this is again like an art style that I think would work really well in tattoo form. Like his art style. He's got one Annihilus here that I just saw scrolling down. I'm like, holy shit! Like this Nihilus image is perfect, and then he's got like a skull kind of imposed into the background. Jesus Christ! Like that kind of stuff is just insane to me. Like you said, the fact that a human can sit down and create art like this. I mean, he's got a Darth Bane shot here again. That is just like I could fill a sleeve, like a dark side sleeve of tattoos with just. I mean,
look at his remakes of the Vanity Fair cover pieces of Kylo and Rey.
Yeah, I mean,
they're better than the fucking magazine.
I mean,
anyways, back to the shot I picked of Eli's here. He put his spin, his style of art on Rey's iconic tie, whatever you want to call it, jump.
Yep.
So from the trailer for Tross, I mean, it's just. I'd tattoo that on my face.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, just the whole scene, I'd start it around my ear and just wrap it around to my other ear. So it'd be like Rey's foot would be on one ear, the trail of Kylo's ship would be on the other, then the main painting would be right on my face.
Yeah, I mean, it's like beautiful the way that he was able to capture it. And what really stands out to me about this image is the way that he trailed off the lightsaber, like using the blue paint or whatever he used. I don't know if this is digital or practical in terms of the painting effect, but like the way that he trailed off that lightsaber blade and made it curve with, the motion of her body was just beautiful. And then obviously everything else that you see in the background, the silencer, the tie silencer itself, the way that he composed it and colored it. I mean, this guy is a killer, and he deserves to be a professional artist paid by Marvel.
I was gonna say it kind of makes sense when you see his work that he's getting paid to do this.
Oh yeah,
to me, like paid artists, like this type of art, I feel like they're a rare breed. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're out there. I mean, there's people that do this for a living and design and concept art for movies and whatnot. But I don't know. I hope this guy's making a lot of money.
Yeah. He does not need another job like this guy.
But I feel like artists like them are really. I mean, you can move it to game developers. They're artists as well. I mean, they're coders. They have a different functioning brain than us losers like Nick and I. But I bet he's underpaid. I bet he does not get paid what he should for some of these pieces.
Oh yeah. I mean, I know people not nearly as skilled as Venomous, but the amount of time that it takes to create these pieces is extensive. And I mean, most of the time you can argue that artists like this or, any kind of traditional, artist does not get paid enough for the amount of time.
I mean, they get nickel and dime by big sites or magazines. I mean, it's the same thing if you're a freelance games journalist. I mean, you could do an epic essay or an expose on a company that breaks major news, and you might make $100.
Yeah. No love for the.
So hey, we're not making money off of Venomous, but I mean this is an account I've been sharing for years. I started back when I just had Entertainment Buddha, and now share his work here on Star Wars Time, and he's definitely been within the Star Wars Time show feed multiple times since we started it back in November. So keep an eye out. I mean, anything Eli posts is pretty much share-worthy, comment-worthy, like-worthy. So Eli Haider at Venomous. Check him out.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, we've got this is kind of a nod to Nick and his obsession with troopers, but I got a crispy beat shot from at BH726_.
Yeah, BH has been in the top 5 before. And what we have here is 2 regular stormtroopers in the back, and then you have a death trooper up front. And really, I mean, again, it's just one of those shots, like you said. It's a crispy shot. That's a term you introduced to me. I think it was last week.
yeah, I learned it myself when I got into toy photography. But a lot of times, if people like a shot, they'll say it's crispy.
Yeah.
But this one, it feels crispy.
It does. It's just like the way that you have that hard focus
Like
on the
KFC.
on the foreground, on the Death Trooper in the foreground, and then that the blur in the back, but then also kind of the motion of the image is with the sand and the way that the sand is.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing there was a
exploding.
little bit of a spray air used, or like a drain pump.
Okay.
I actually use a drain pump now to do my dust up effect like this, because I was getting tired of buying canned air. But you essentially just create a little pile of debris by your subject, and then hopefully you have a remote and your camera shutter speed's fast. You spray it and you hold down your shutter speed. You just hope to get a shot like this, honestly. And it's not as easy as it looks, because a lot of times you either spray too hard, there's too much shit, the particles get up into your subject. But I mean, this is a perfect amount of particle effect, but I believe it's practical. I don't think this is added in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic job here. And even though these troopers weren't on the beach at Scarif in Rogue One, this shot reminds me of
It looks
Scarif.
like it.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me that I don't have a Shadow Trooper, at least a Black Series Shadow Trooper. I have a figure art Shadow Trooper, but I want this fucking figure.
It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I just love the way he looks in this shot. I mean, he's wearing the same shit as the bozos behind him, but he looks way more badass.
Yeah, I mean,
than the white troopers.
That one shoulder pauldron off to the side, I said Death Trooper. I like in my head, I knew it was Shadow because the helmet, but like for some reason, I said Death Trooper just because it's all black. And like the shoulder.
Make sure to cane yourself once you get off.
I know. I have to correct my mistakes.
Like Da Vinci Code shit. Sit there, get on your knees, and take a cattail to your back.
Oh yeah, like the crazy person that I am. But yeah, I mean, like it's a more menacing pose too. Like obviously the guys in the back are kind of a little bit.
Well, here's how I look at Nick. They're all running away like, they're coming. Where he's just like, fuck this.
Yeah, he's like bringing his gun up.
Yeah, he's like, bring it, bays.
Ready to go.
Bring it, cheer it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. He just looks like a badass. Like he can't even be bothered by whatever is scurrying these other two bozos in white.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is a fantastic shot. And again, as I go through the feed for, picking the top 5, I saw all of these shots, and it's just so hard to choose who I'm going to put in the top 5. And I try not to. Basically, what I try to do is just scroll through the feed, and the first 5 that really grab me and then I click on, make the top 5. But there's, a lot of times it's tough. A lot of times I'll pick, everything Kylo every week, and I'm like, man, I can't throw him in every week, or Sir Dork every week. And then, so now it's become a little bit more difficult to
I mean, dude,
top 5.
Sir Dork makes a couple more videos like that. I mean, he's going to be a permanent fixture in the top 5.
Maybe we just do a Sir Dork specific top 5 every week. Like we just pick his best 5 shots from that week.
You know what? That may not be a bad idea every once in a while, just kind of doing like an artist feature.
An artist spotlight. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I like that. That may be something we play with. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like for our sometime, how we'll do special topic casts. Maybe we could start doing that, like featuring artists. But we also want to start interviewing these people as well. So we got to get on that. And by we, I mean the mouse in my pocket myself, because I'm the one that has been saying I was going to get on it and just haven't. So, but I do. I wanted to start interviewing these people. Hershey even mentioned, he's like, hey, you guys should maybe ask some of these people. It's like, yeah, we're thinking about it, because I want to do it kind of like inside the actor studio and have an organic dialogue with these artists, but also a canned set of questions like gear, favorite figure, just one-off shit like that.
We'll spend maybe the first half of the cast getting through some of the standard stuff, and then open it up to conversation, because these guys, they're Star Wars fans just like you and me, just like everybody listening. So they have their opinions on Star Wars. I mean,
they could talk with us for 15 minutes and be like, these guys really are bozos.
Yeah.
How quickly can I get out of this?
Yeah, these guys are pretty stupid. So let's cut this
out.
out.
But if you're listening and maybe getting on the cast and doing an interview or just talking Star Wars and toy photography, send us some messages. I know I've talked to a few of you. Trust me, you're on the list. Just got to get it organized. Nick and I we're considering changing up our recording schedule, so it's probably going to further delay interviews, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now, just because it'll force me to do it. We'll have at least one interview done before the year's up.
Oh yeah. I can commit to that as well. We'll definitely get somebody in here before the end of 2019.
Right.
So
just keep on listening, people. That does it for this kind of coming back from break cast where, Nick and I, we didn't want to get into any of the news items we've thrown up on StarWarsTime.net. We're saving those for the Friday recording session, which will come out next week on Tuesday. So we appreciate you listening, as always. Hopefully you enjoyed this kind of toy photography, Star Wars artist-centric segment. I know not all of you come here for the toys, but, maybe you'll get something out of it. In the end, we all love Star Wars, and that's what we're celebrating here. So get yourself over to StarWarsTime.net. That's where you can get all the details on where you can subscribe, the platforms we have. The YouTube's over there, iTunes, Android, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. I mean, honestly, there are no more excuses for not getting subbed up to the Star Wars Time show on the platform of your choice. Until next time, my friends, may the Force be with you, always.